said you have two choices. Let the horse go, or go with the horse and you follow the horse. Imagine an Arab boy at 10 years leaving Iraq or Persia and going to Europe. And when they brought him, they assembled the horses that they brought. And the boy was at the end of the line. And the emperor came and said, "Hey, what's this boy doing?" They said, "The boy this is his favorite horse, but the father sold it to us. And he chose to come with us." And the boy had a sword. Then the king looked at him and said, "Hey boy, that's a fine sword." The other boy threw the horse and almost gave it to the king. And the king said, "This is going to make a soldier, a good soldier." And that boy became a colonel in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. That's pursuit of purpose. I don't know how many of you have read Mahatma Gandhi's autobiography. Gandhi said they sat down and they looked. These Europeans that are colonizing us and taking everything that we own, they are so few. How come we can't resist them? They asked this question and asked and asked and asked. They couldn't find an answer. Eventually they decided that, it's because they eat meat. You know, in India they don't eat meat. Yeah. They broke the Hindu protocol and started eating meat. They didn't become powerful. He went to England, studied law. He didn't become powerful. He came back and rose through the ranks and become a senior partner in a very powerful British law firm. And he was wearing coat and suit and tie. And then they had a case in Australia. The chamber had a case in Australia, and he was assigned to go and take care of that case. And they put him in business class in the aircraft. And the Britons in the aircraft looked at him and said, "An Indian in a business class?" He said, "This is not possible. There must be a mistake." They checked, and truly, he had a business class ticket. But what happened? Something happened. At the next stop, they downgraded him to economy. When Gandhi came back from that trip, he stopped wearing suit. And that was how Gandhi found his purpose. This is the pursuit of purpose. I don't know how many of us have read the book The Young Rebels by Winston Churchill. He made a quote there and says, "In a man's life, there comes a time when the situation arises, a situation that only he is uniquely qualified. If he rises to the occasion, there he finds his purpose." Most of us are busy pursuing what is not important. We leave the substance. We pursue unnecessary things. We spread ourselves thin, fighting on useless battles. How many battles can you win? Not so many. In a lifetime. So choose your battles wisely, based on your purpose. That's extremely important. You may just discuss with me. Anyway, I went for a leadership course, and when we finished the training, there was only one question, and it was an oral question. And the question is, who is your mentor? Everybody said yes, who their mentors was. Yeah. And so I told them my mentor was Jesus Christ. And this was in Thailand, where Buddhism holds sway. The man didn't say anything. After we left class, he followed me and asked me, the coach, he asked me, what exactly intrigues me about Jesus? Because he's schooled in Israel. And he knows that he knows the impression the Israelis have, the Jews have about Jesus. And I told him Jesus was a disruptor. Yes, he was a disruptor. He disrupted the old order establish the new order. Unless you disrupt, you won't get things, new things will happen. Don't focus on the old. I'm not called to establish or to validate the old. I am called to disrupt and establish a new order. And that is the battle that I know is my purpose in Nigeria today. Who inspires you? It's extremely important. I once walked to my boss and I told him he no longer inspires me. So I was not interested in continuing the job. He says, why? He said, I used to believe you after God. Now I don't know you. And you couldn't believe it. You want to leave? I said, yes. He said, okay. You will leave when the time is appropriate. And I left. Champions are not made in the room, they are made in the field. Show me a champion and I will show you his scars. Scars. If you are a champion without scars, then you'll never start. Think again. Champions are made in the field, in the battlefield. My grandfather once asked his distracted son, when you wake up in the morning during the rainy season, and everybody carries their hoes to the farm, how do you feel when you see people going to the farm? He said nothing. When they come back from the farm, how do you feel? He says nothing. He said he felt nothing. He said, okay, at harvest, when people gather harvest, how do you feel? My uncle said nothing. My grandfather said, even God cannot help you. Because you have lost purpose. You have not even found it. I'm going to close. I'm already getting into extra time. But I'm going to close. I hope I'll have time to share my story. I was born in a village, in a polygamous home. As I speak, I don't know what it means to have a father. But it was only when I grew up that they showed me that was my father. And I looked at him, I said, okay. I went through school, not a dime, going new things. Came back, when I graduated from the university, he called me and said, hey, you know customs demands that I marry a wife for you. I said, yes. He said, but I will not marry a wife for you. And I asked him why. And he said, because I sent you to university. I will not, that's the dowry that I was supposed to pay for you that has been that is translates to the university education that you have. Yet I know that a dime didn't join me with you. I didn't argue and I just left. And I made sure he didn't get the opportunity and the privilege of paying my dowry. I paid it myself. I wanted to prove to him that I am man enough. I wouldn't come begging. I wouldn't cry. No. The best revenge in life is no revenge at all, just move that. I said the best revenge in life is no revenge, just move on and be happy. I started business. I've lived all my life in Lagos until 2015. I would say I was fairly successful. Then I was called to come and join some new level of activity. Then I joined politics. And I came to Kaduna. I was specially invited to come and I came. I had a vegetable oil processing plant and a very successful brand in Lagos. And I left. My wife looked at me and said, they say that people grow in wisdom with age, but your case is reversed. I didn't say nothing. I just told her, I have been honored by this man. I've been called. I will answer that call. So I left. Then I joined the Kaduna State government as commissioner for agriculture. crisis. I've never worked in such a toxic environment. Yet, I made my mark. Go find out Minister of Agri, go find out Minister of Commerce. The next 10 years, nobody will match whatever. I had great opportunities. In fact, when I came there was money for a particular project, about $15 million. We had just 4 months to conclude the project, and they said, "No, you can't spend this money. Let's close the books. You get a minimum of $5 million. And I looked at them and I said, "Try me." I blow money. I don't respect money. I blow money. And I tell you, we spend that money. Severally, I had those opportunities. But at the end of the day, as I said, I had to leave because I just couldn't cope. The day I left government, I didn't have 200,000 home and abroad. But when I left, I just told government, I had an opportunity to steal. I didn't. For your name, I ask only of you, only one thing. Don't put me in a position that I'll go back to any Kaduna State government office in this next 4 years to ask for a favor. And I left. 3 days, I got a call. Allegedly, nobody wanted to see me. So we saw, and they told me they wanted me to be DG because I'm the chairman of my board. They wanted me to be DG Nigeria Agri Business School. I told him I was not interested. He said, "No, they know that I am made for impact. They want me to be there." And I said, "Okay, on my own terms." He said, "What are your terms?" "I don't want your salary. I don't want your cars. I don't want your driver. I don't want your house." He said, "That's too generous." "Why? What are you giving us back then?" I said, "In return, I have a company that I've just started and I'm growing it. I want to run my company and I don't want the issues of conflict of interest." He said they'll think about it. 1 week after they came back and they said, "Done." I left. My salary as commissioner was 180,000. And I left without a call. You won't believe it, I didn't tell my wife I was going. I just left and I went. So, between 2019 and today, I have built an agri-business company that has global visibility. And I'm telling you today, there is nothing that I ever wanted that God didn't do. I hear you. There's nothing. And I tell people all the time, be careful if you find me. You won't get it. You won't get to me. You are going to think here. Find me. I won't look for a fight. And I'm telling you today, in the next 5 years, that my company is going to be among the first 3 agri-businesses in Nigeria. Like I said, I've taken so much of the time, so I won't talk too much. But what are the issues? Finally, I'm going to speak to the youth here directly. The 4th industrial revolution is here. The 4th industrial revolution is here. And that is what? The digital revolution. Knowledge and information have never been democratized in the whole of human history as is now. What are you doing with that information? What are you doing with that knowledge? In 10 years, brick and mortar universities will collapse. Yes, sir. Yeah. You will sit in your house and knowledge will be available to you. Wow. Today, people are talking about microchips that you are going to put in the eye. They will access a cloud, a body of knowledge in the cloud. Anything it will connect to your brain. Anything you just think about, the answers will come to you direct through that microchip. How are you positioning yourself for the future? This is extremely important. Now, let me close with identity. I spent 16 days of last month in Europe. I took delegations, government delegations across. And we went to one of the biggest animal nutrition companies in the world called Agrofeed. When we got there, first they took us to a monastery that was established in 1798. I mean in 798 AD. Yes. And we spent 40 minutes there. They took us through the process, how that monastery was established, how it has grown to where it is today. When we finished, they said this is where they draw their inspiration from. They are Christians and they are not ashamed. And in that dedication of course they were not Christians. They didn't care. You just do your thing. Once you are confident of who you are and where they draw your inspiration, anybody else can go to hell. Thank you very much.